Hey gamers, welcome back to Veteran Game, where we shine a light on the games that aim high, even when they miss the mark. Today's subject: Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, a 255 action RPG that tries to mash together Souls-like difficulty, Metroidvania exploration, and deep RPG build crafting, all with a dark fantasy twist. Ambitious? Absolutely. Successful? Well, not quite. Let's dive in. So what exactly is Mandragora? You play as an inquisitor, trekking through the grim world of Duum, a once civilized land now rotting from the inside out. The setup oozes promise: towering witches, grotesque monsters, a corrupted society, and an energy called entropy warping the world. Honestly, it feels like Dark Souls met Diablo in a painter's studio. But very quickly, that promising atmosphere gets undercut by one painful truth. Mandragora has no idea how to balance its parts. Let's start with the good. First off, build variety. This is easily Mandragora's strongest feature. You start by picking one of 6 classes, then dive into a web of skill trees, passive buffs, and stat builds. Whether you're a toxic dagger rogue, a spell slinging battle mage, or a strength tank with a hammer the size of a fridge, there's a satisfying amount of variety. You can even respec easily for a small fee and test everything in a built-in training zone. It's flexible, approachable, and honestly fun to experiment with. And exploration, not bad either. The map is massive, full of locked areas you can't reach until you snag key upgrades like the double jump or grapple hook. You'll return to old zones and uncover secrets, collect map fragments, and gradually unlock more tools to push deeper into Duum. There's a satisfying Metroidvania drip feed here, until the backtracking starts to feel like a chore. More on that in a bit. Now onto the cracks, let's talk combat. And yes, I'm sighing before we even begin. Combat in Mandragora is painfully shallow. Enemies have basic patterns, wind-ups that feel like rehearsals, and rarely put up a real challenge. Instead of crafting genuinely tough encounters, the game leans on artificial difficulty. You'll see it everywhere. Enemies stacked near traps, bosses who spam recycled attacks, and narrow platforms with foes designed to knock you off into insta-death. Not because it's fun, but because it's annoying. The boss fights are the worst offenders. Mandragora loves gimmicks. Want to fight a cool boss? Too bad. First, you'll deal with a time limit, an enemy that constantly heals the boss, or swarms of ads. There's no elegance here, just noise. The final boss. Pure chaos with broken hitboxes and mechanics that feel like they skipped playtesting. And here's the thing, none of it feels earned. Mandragora doesn't challenge your skills, it tests your patience, which is the wrong kind of hard. Even the platforming, which could have added a bit of flair, ends up feeling undercooked. The late game glide ability shows up literally an hour before the final boss. Why bother teasing vertical secrets the entire game, only to unlock the tool when it barely matters? And don't get me started on the witch stones, this game's version of bonfires. They're too far apart, meaning every death sends you running through the same gauntlet of poorly placed enemies just to get back to the boss. Again, and again, and again. That's not tension. That's tedium. Performance-wise, the game's not a disaster, but long play sessions can tank the frame rate, especially on PS5. It's not frequent enough to break the game, but it's one more blemish on a game that's already bleeding from other wounds. So, is Mandragora worth your time? It's a tough call. There's a lot of genuine effort here. The world is gorgeous. The lore is intriguing. The class system is deep. For about 10 hours I was pretty invested. But then the repetition hit. The gimmicks hit. The combat's cracks widened. And suddenly all I could think was, this could have been amazing. That's the real tragedy of Mandragora. It wants to be great. You can see the ambition. But instead of focusing on a few polished ideas, it tries to do everything, and ends up doing most things just okay. On the Veteran Game channel, we root for the scrappy titles, the ones that try to stand out in a sea of sequels and safe bets. And while Mandragora doesn't quite land the killing blow, it gets points for stepping into the ring. If you're dying for a dark fantasy Metroidvania and can forgive some frustrating design choices, give it a shot. But if you want tight combat, smart bosses, and satisfying progression, there are better games on the shelf. That's it for this one. Hit subscribe if you love deep dives and brutally honest reviews. And let us know in the comments, What game tried to go big and totally missed the mark? Catch you next time.